So I want to start off by saying I am a victim of hypergamy, but not in the way that you think. Let's just say that I kind of experience this, this more often than more of this. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think it's worse to experience this in a way because it's like, damn, I'm just like good looking enough to just be, considered ugly. But also, it's just like I'm not gonna be attracted to them. Like at that point, what do I do? What do I do? It's just like I think it's worse than the other way around. I'll be honest, and I will die on that hill because the reason to me is that it's like I think it's a certain type of hell that you're attractive enough, but you're not so attractive that you can get someone that you are attracted to. And yeah, that's gonna make some people mad, but if you experience that, then you'll understand. And people get mad and say like, why don't you fall in love with their personality? I can like their personality, but it's just like if I'm not attracted to them, it's like I can't find my nature, my physical urge to like find someone attractive. There's not much I can do. Now women call me like a hypergamous moid now, so it is what it is. But it's been a while since I've done this. Last week or the last 2 weeks, I've seen a lot of good cope maxing. Hope maxing is cope maxing. I'm an advocate for cope. I always say that cope is good. So that's the thing. So the situation with the Looking MC, that with V's like new boyfriend or something like that. It is what it is at that point. A lot of guys are gonna be taller than him, so it is what it is. I do think that he's lying about being 5'2". I think he's 5'1", because he just kind of keeps mentioning his height so much in his like latest video that I feel like one, he's lying, and two, that he's just subconsciously insecure about it, and that's what I saw. But even then, my opinion on him, I'm indifferent to him, but I just don't find him funny. That's all. I'm just indifferent to him. But he doesn't deserve to be made fun of or edited. Well, I mean, in his last video, he said something like crazy that he wants to dominate, like physically and emotionally dominate his partner, and I'm like, okay, maybe he should be made fun of well, not a little bit, to a certain degree for saying that. But that's just wild to me, my personal opinion. And the reason for that is that I kind of take the Baki approach to relationships. Like, she can do whatever she wants. If she wants to leave, she can leave. It's always been like that, and it's always like led me to much more healthier relationships. Another thing I want to talk about is the thing with these flock cameras, right? It's crazy. It's getting crazy. I've been seeing it a lot. Always knew like this country was going to be a surveillance state, so it's like, for me, it's just like whatever. It's more bread and circus. I mean, even then, they're still going to watch me goon. I'm just going to launch my goon shoes on the flock cameras, and they have to clean it. So, either way, they're going to watch me goon. They're not going to stop me from gooning. They never will. And, and by the way, this is like my progress from last time. Just a few more pixel art from this side, a bit more DBZ, and then, right here I've been working more on this side a little bit more because the DBZ side is just kind of like, it's overtaken. Yes, I have a bias, but still. And then, here we go, more video games, and then some of Togashi's work. Only 3 though, but if you know, you know. Well, that's pretty much it. That's all I want to show you. Even with all this stuff, I don't think a revolution is gonna come anytime soon. The people are just okay with their slop and their, brain rot. So even then, the only way to do it is just like not work. Everyone has to not work for like what, 1 month, and that's possible, but no one's gonna do it. Everyone's been so hypnotized right now, from what I've seen. And speaking of like people talking like about more taboo things, I don't know if you guys seen like the bloody live guy. I don't know his full name. I just been seeing him on my For You page for a bit. When I'm like on break and I just wanna, brain rot doom scroll. I've been seeing him. He says he's been getting silenced. Yes, he's spews hateful rhetoric, but my take on it is that you can voice out your opinions, but don't expect like you to be excluded from the consequences of your message, right? But he can speak whatever he wants to speak. He's been going schizo. Not schizo as me though. I'll be honest. In some part, there's kind of merit to it. For why he's saying that he's been getting silenced. Like if you speak like in that type of way, like contrary to what's a popular belief or to what's like what you're supposed to do, right? You will be silenced, especially if you speak against a certain particular group in a certain particular country, aka you can't really speak about it. Then after these, flock cameras, then the surveillance state, then our phone's gonna be tapped. We're gonna get arrested for this. So probably, not even probably. It's just like that's gonna happen. And what do I think? It is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. Like if everyone agreed and want to do something about it, then things could change. But that's not gonna happen. Everyone's at work. I'm definitely not gonna do it. I'm gonna be at work. I'm eating the slop. I'm eating the slop, and I'm just, my brain is rotting. So there's not much I can do. A hill that I will die on is that women are more homophobic than men. Because you see these videos a lot on TikTok that, they expose women for being more homophobic than men. And especially when you disagree with them, they use homophobia against you. Especially with like bi guys, if the guy is like outed as bisexual, right? and they slept with a guy, the girl will be having a more visceral reaction compared to a guy who's with like a bi girl and then she has experience with a bi woman. I think a part of it's just fetishization and the guy thinking that he could get a threesome like consistently each and every time. Hey, I'm just gonna say the truth in that regard. It is what it is. Going back to like me experience like hypergamy on the other end, I think I understand. I think I understand women like on rejecting men more. It doesn't feel good to reject someone. Granted, I also know the feeling of me being rejected. So I think that's also part of it. I do have a more, I guess, empathetic take on it. I mean, it's tough. Like, after I rejected her, she blocked me and everything. So it's like, okay. I do still feel bad in that regard. Nice person and everything, but, you know, if I'm not attracted to you, there's not much I can cope with, right? And it's kind of sad. Sometimes a part of me just wants to be like, I wish I could just love a person's personality and not their physical features, but that's not reality. Anyway, there's really not much to talk about. I've just been super busy with all this stuff. Yeah, I don't know, man. I could probably make better videos in the future. Probably will. I don't know if I'm just gonna be ranting or ranting and playing a video game. Plus, there's not much to play since I'm just growing up. Everything I find is just boring. Okay, I did hit the 8-minute mark or 10-minute mark, so I had to make a few more statements. So, one thing I want to talk about as well is that, like, my generation is very hypocritical in some sort of way, especially with, like, us in dating. One thing I want to say is that, even though we hate dating apps is, like, the most common way that we meet each other. So it's just like, you know, what are we supposed to do? One, we're very antisocial. Two is like, you know, we mostly are at the gym, at work, and at home. Me personally, I wouldn't want to date someone from my gym. I think if you know, if everything goes well and if like we break up, we still go to the same gym. So you know, what's the point? Two, if they reject me or I reject them, they still have to come to the same gym and it's becoming awkward. So I'd rather not do that. Especially, like, since I go to MMA gym, I'd rather not do that either. So, you know, what's the other option? Right. Run club. Well, if you go up to every girl there and get rejected, you're only there for like the women. You have to genuinely be there for the event. But really, you're just there to find someone. So it's just like, what are you doing? At that point, just kind of download the dating app. It's pretty dystopian in that regard. Again, what am I supposed to do? What is anyone supposed to do? We're not really supposed to be dating strangers. We're supposed to get to know each other, but you know, what else can we do? Again, and like us, we say these are the solutions, but we don't act upon these solutions. There's not much you can do about that. I see a lot of things, you know, with women saying like they're against the patriarchy, even though they hold a lot of patriarchal standards. Especially like, oh, the man has to pay for the first date. You know, yeah, if you're a real man, you have to do this, you have to do that. You know, it's just like, what are we doing? Um, I don't think it's ever gonna be defeated. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Either support the patriarchy or just, you know, go against it. Me personally, I just really don't care either way. I don't care if there's a patriarchy. I don't care if there's a matriarchy. I don't care if there's anarchy. I just really don't care because the most important person to me is me, and I'm just gonna do what benefits me the most, even though it might be hypocritical. And I think everybody should do that, in my opinion. And that's the best way to do it, is just benefit yourself. Become that hypocrite. Become that narcissist. Integrate that dark triad of yours. You know? And to be honest, I think some things just can't be stopped. I don't think we're gonna integrate with one another no matter like which race, which group you identify with. You know what I mean? I don't think we're ever gonna integrate. I see this in TikTok, I see this in like the real world. Ideally, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. It would be nice, but I just kind of like see it, and I just see people just fighting against it. So I'm like, you know what? It's not gonna work. It's never going to work, no matter how far we go. Like one step forward and like 100 steps backwards, sprinting. Somehow, this may seem like a doomer coded. You know, the best thing you can do is just be in a place that you are accepted in. Just benefit yourself.